welcome back. In this video, I'll be briefly describing the role of the nervous system in bowel function and demonstrating a simple self-massage that you can perform to improve function. So, very briefly, a simple breakdown of the central nervous system categorizes the autonomic nervous system into two parts, the sympathetic and parasympathetic divisions. The sympathetic division is most widely known as our fight, flight, or freeze response, but this doesn't necessarily mean that we have to be in a life-threatening or dangerous situation in order to operate in the system. Anytime we're alert and focused on a task or being productive in our day, we are operating in the sympathetic system. Whereas our parasympathetic system is primarily responsible for rest and digest. And as a lymphedema therapist, I would also like to add that this system is equally responsible for decongestion as well, which is the action of the lymphatic system in removing waste from the body. Both systems are very important and require balance in our day-to-day lives. Most people today live the majority of their lives in the sympathetic system, taking very little time to exercise their parasympathetic division, and this can be detrimental for many reasons, but today's focus is on the gastrointestinal system specifically. It is rather silly, but this is a medically accepted chart for describing and journaling stool consistency. I'm not certain whom to credit for this particular version, and it is technically the pediatric chart, but I use it with my adults as well, and I find it to be more descriptive and fun. As you can see, I've identified type 4 as the perfect stool consistency. It's one in which the stool is solid, but soft and easy to pass with minimal effort. Anything above that on the chart may be the result of dehydration, poor fiber intake, and slow transit. That is, stool moving through the colon too slowly. The colon, or large intestine, is the final stretch in the extensive length of the GI system, and its primary job is to take the liquid stool from the small intestine and reabsorb water so that it ideally enters the rectum as type 4 stool. If this process is too slow, the stool becomes too dehydrated, cracked, and hard, and difficult to pass. On the other end of the chart, stool that is too soft or even liquid may be due to a colon that is moving things along far too quickly. This can be temporary or chronic and is often driven by irritants in the diet, sympathetic dominance in day-to-day life, too little soluble fiber, and perhaps too much insoluble fiber. We won't go into details of fiber in this video, but I do plan on doing so in the future. So the purpose of this massage is to either stimulate an underactive colon or calm an overactive colon. We want to normalize this movement, which is controlled by smooth muscle inside the organ itself. This massage also helps to activate the parasympathetics and decrease that tendency towards sympathetic dominance. It also stimulates the lymphatic system and kickstarts the process of removing waste and toxins from the body, particularly in the abdominal and pelvic cavities where a great deal of congestion can settle. Many of the women I see will report bloating and swelling in the belly, which is exactly what this is, this congestion, which can be improved by turning on the lymphatics. Bowel massage also works the soft tissues and connective tissues of the abdominal wall, so it's great for lengthening tight muscles and mobilizing adhesions that might exist both superficially and deep. I always recommend that people see a licensed professional for an assessment prior to initiating any self-massage or exercises, but I'd like to definitely emphasize that this massage should not be performed by anyone who has had recent surgery. You don't want to massage the bowels if you have unevaluated pain or if you're pregnant. So before we begin, here's a brief introduction to the massage. It's actually a pediatric massage, but it works great for adults too, and it's called the I Love You or ILU massage to help you remember the pathway for your hands. Your colon runs from your right lower belly up, over, and down to your left lower belly, and then the rectum. However, and this is important, your stool is not moved through from the right side all the way to the left. Instead, it's a process of sort of clearing the traffic and moving backwards, meaning you'll start on your left side at the eye and work the length of the left descending colon. Then you'll add to that the transverse colon along across the top to make the L. And lastly, you'll create the entire U shape from the right to the left along the entire colon. I'll show you how. For this massage, you'll need some oil. I prefer oil because a little goes a long way and I don't have to reapply as often. This essential oil mix is the one that I use for my little ones when they need a belly rub, so I'll put a recipe in the description below. You'll need to be laying on your back so your abdominal wall can relax. Cover the entire belly in a layer of oil and gently start just below your left rib cage. Make deep, slow strokes all the way down to the pelvis and repeat about 5 to 10 times depending on how much you feel like you need. For the sake of time, I'll do only about 2 strokes per segment or letter. It's important not to cause pain. You might find areas that are hard and tender where stool burden exists, so decrease your pressure when sliding over these areas. Every person's abdomen is different, and most of the women I treat have a lot of abdominal tightness, so you may not be able to sink your fingers in as deeply as I can here. And that's okay. The key is slow, gentle, and deep breaths as you work your way around the I, L, and U. As an optional addition to the massage, you can find the ileocecal valve between the small and large intestine about halfway between your belly button and the front point of the pelvis on your right side. Gently take up the slack on this area and pull towards your belly button. Breathe in and out for 5 breaths while you hold this position. You can do this before starting the massage on the U or skip it altogether. It's up to you, but again, discontinue if this causes pain and check with your provider. At the end of the massage, take some deep, full diaphragmatic or belly breaths to really settle into the parasympathetic system. I recommend doing this massage at a time when you can simply rest and be still for a while afterward. I hope you found this video helpful. Please like, subscribe, and share with anyone you feel might benefit. Until next time.